in regards to a budget for Hudson Valley Community College. The legislature is now called into order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Bailey.
Here.
Mr. Bendet.
Here.
Mr. Burns. Mr. Casal.
Here.
Ms. Doran.
Present.
Mr. Fiacco. Mr. Fleming.
Here.
Mr. Grant.
Present.
Mr. Grimm.
Here.
Mr. Harrington.
Present.
Ms. Hoffman.
Here.
Mr. Leverage.
Here.
Mr. Patiri.
Here.
Mr. Peter.
Here.
Mr. Tessman.
Here.
Ms. Sullivan-Tita.
Present.
Ms. Weaver.
Here.
Mr. Wysocki.
Here.
Chairman Stammel.
Here, Mr. Harrington, please.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the legislature resolve itself into a committee of the whole for the purpose of conducting the following hearing.
Is there any objections? Hearing there's no objections, I hereby appoint legislator Dan Cassell, Chair of the Legislative Committee on Education, to conduct this public hearing. Mr. Cassell and your committee, could you please come up?
Will you hand that to Dan for me? Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The clerk will read the notice of publication and enter the affidavits of publication into the record.
Please take notice that in accordance with Section 6304, Subdivision 5A of the Education Law of the State of New York and Section 359 of the County Law of the State of New York, a public hearing will be held in the chambers of the Rensselaer County Legislature at the County Office Building, Troy, New York, on Tuesday, July 13th, 2021, at 5:30 to review the tentative budget of Hudson Valley Community College for the fiscal year beginning September 1st, 2021, and ending August 31st, 2022. Copies of the tentative budget are on file in the office of the clerk of the legislature and are available for public review during the hours of 9 to 4, Monday through Friday.
Okay, the public hearing is to review the tentative budget of the Hudson Valley Community College for the fiscal year beginning September 1st, 2021, ending August 31st, 2022, is now open. The rules of the chair are as follows. First, anyone wishing to speak at this public hearing must sign in at the table at the entrance to the legislative chambers. When you're called upon to speak, please move quickly to the microphone and state your name, address for the record. Are there any questions? So at this time, is there anyone wishing to speak on the proposed tentative budget for Hudson Valley Community College for fiscal year beginning September 1st, 2021, ending 2022, August 31st? And I guess Dr. Ramsamy will be speaking, President of the Hudson Valley.
Take your time.
Not that quick, Jesus.
I don't want him to trip.
Continuously looking at ways in terms of cutting costs, reducing our spending in many ways so that we could continue to be, fiscally responsible about what we do. And we thank you always for that support. You should also know that in many ways your investment does not go by the wayside. It's because of you. We can boast today that 1,646 of our graduates, 25% of them come from Rensselaer County. Did you know that of those, 86% of our student graduates stay within the capital region and support the continued work efforts for businesses and industry? You should know that then our funding, the funding that you give to us, does not pay. Because we are so concerned about what happened in the COVID times, we also because of funding, because we understand the challenges that our students are facing, we have not raised our tuition for the second time in a row, simply to allow our citizens in this region to afford Hudson Valley. And did you know this? That in 64 colleges in the SUNY system, we are at the bottom 5 in terms of our tuition. And we are willing to take that risk simply because of our dedication to what our students bring back to our community. If we have 86% of our students staying and supporting us in this region, it simply means that it's tenfold in terms of the dollars that comes back in through taxes and support. And so for that, I must say thank you, and thank you so very much for at least allowing us again to be here. I do not want to spend too much time at the podium, because I respect the work that has already been put in overviewing this, and if there are questions, I would like to open it up to you. Would you like to answer questions?
You can answer questions. You have to make any questions. Go ahead and answer them.
Okay. Is there a question?
No questions so far from anybody?
My biggest question was, I was concerned when I heard that Shirley Jackson was going to be retiring, and I immediately thought of you and thought, please, gosh, don't let Dr. Ramsamy leave Hudson Valley and try to apply for the job at RPI. So thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you so very much.
You didn't answer me, I'm not gonna put it on. But I appreciate the work that you do.
Well, thank you so much, and you do your sure. Hudson Valley is doing lots right now. We have an FAA program that just began. We have a lot of welding program, an optimal electric youth program. I'm not going to turn you away from all of that. We have more to do for our region.
Great job. Thank you, Doctor. Okay, at this time, is there anyone wishing to speak on this proposal? None more. Hearing none, and as much as all persons present were given the opportunity to speak on the proposal to review the tentative budget of the Hudson Valley Community College for the fiscal year beginning September 1st, 2021 and ending August 31st, 2022. If no one else desires to speak, I declare this public hearing closed at 5:42. Thank you, and thank you for your participation. Thanks, Dr. and Hudson Valley College and everybody back there, Regina and the whole crew. And Susan. Hey, Susan.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Bailey? Here. Mr. Bendet? Here. Mr. Burns? Mr. Cassell? Here. Ms. Doran? Mr. Fiacco? Mr. Fleming? Here. Mr. Grant? Present. Mr. Grimm? Here. Mr. Harrington? Present. Ms. Hoffman? Here. Mr. Leverage? Here. Mr. Patiri? Here. Mr. Peter? Here. Mr. Tessman? Here. Ms. Sullivan Tita? Ms. Weaver? Here. Mr. Wysocki? Here. Chairman Stammel?
Here. Invocation, Mr. Grant.
Grant, O God, that your holy and life-giving spirit may so move every human heart and barriers which divide us may crumble. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance, Mr. Grimm.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. Be seated.
Chairman, I move that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of the regular meeting of June 8th, 2021, and approve the minutes as printed.
Motion made and seconded. On a question? If none, so moved. Okay. Presentation of petitions.
On file?
Presentation of communications.
On file?
Reports of commissions.
On file?
Departmental reports.
On file?
Reports of standing committees.
On file?
Local laws.
There are 3 tonight.
And first one will be local law. Local law, you want to read the local law?
Yes, local law. Local law establishing a demonstration program imposing owner liability for failure of an operator to stop for a school bus displaying a red visual sign and stop arm introduced by Hoffman, Grant, Bailey, and Fiaco. This is a roll call vote. Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bendet?
Yes.
Mr. Burns is not here. Mr. Cassell?
Yes.
Ms. Doran?
Aye.
Mr. Fiaco is not here. Mr. Fleming?
Yes.
Mr. Grant?
Aye.
Mr. Grimm? Mr. Harrington? Ms. Hoffman?
Aye.
Mr. Leverage?
Yes.
Mr. Patiri? Mr. Peter? Mr. Testman? Ms. Sullivan Tita?
Yes.
Ms. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Wysocki?
Yes.
Chairman Stammel?
Yes.
17 ayes.
Okay. Next local law.
A local law enacting the Rensselaer County Prescription Opioid Safe Disposal Law, introduced by Bendet, Cassell, Leverage, Stammel. And this, is again, is a roll call vote. Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bendet?
Yes.
Mr. Cassell?
Yes.
Ms. Doran?
Aye.
Mr. Fiaco is not here. Mr. Fleming?
Yes.
Mr. Grant?
Aye.
Mr. Grimm?
Yes.
Mr. Harrington?
Aye.
Ms. Hoffman?
Aye.
Mr. Leverage?
Yes.
Mr. Patiri? Mr. Peter?
Yes.
Mr. Testman?
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan Tita?
Yes.
Ms. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Wysocki?
Yes.
Chairman Stammel?
Yes.
17 ayes.
The next local law.
A local law of the County of Rensselaer establishing the Rensselaer County Animal Abuse Registry, introduced by Hoffman, Grant, and Weaver. This is, again, as a roll call. Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bendet?
Yes.
Mr. Cassell?
Yes.
Ms. Doran?
Aye.
Mr. Fleming?
Yes.
Mr. Grant?
Aye.
Mr. Grimm?
Mr. Chairman.
On the question, yes.
I'm going to vote yes for this local law, but I also would like just to comment that this is a nice example of bipartisan work. I introduced legislation very similar to this about 9 years ago. We had quite a discussion over it at the time, and then the minority office also introduced this within the past year. Much conversation and re-upped and brought in by the majority, but I think it's a bipartisan effort by all of us to finally get to this.
I would agree, Mr. Grimm. Thank you.
Mr. Harrington?
Mr. Harrington?
Yeah, I would also like to say we're very happy that we were able to work together with the Farm Bureau and the Farm Association to work on this law and come to an agreement that everybody can take it. It's something we can all live with and work with.
Thank you, Mr. Harrington.
Mr. Leverage?
Yes.
Ms. Hoffman, I forgot you.
If I could,
Sorry.
Yes, please, Ms. Kelly.
as my colleagues have said, I'm pleased to co-sponsor this bill. I do want to thank some of our colleagues who put quite a bit of time into this. There were some consequences to the original legislation that we had that could have negatively impacted our farming community. So with that, we did spend countless hours, I think, on this. Phil, I want to thank you for your help on that. Also to legislators Grant, Harrington, Peter, Testman, our district attorney. We were able to meet with the Farm Bureau and work through those issues, but really the gist and the substance of the law still remain. If you own a pet in Rensselaer County and you're going to abuse it and you're going to be convicted of it, you're never going to own another animal in our county again. So I'm very pleased. Thank you all for working with us together on this, and I'm going to be voting yes.
Mr. Patiri?
Yes.
Mr. Peter?
Yes.
Mr. Testman?
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan Tita?
Yes.
Ms. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Wysocki?
Yes.
Chairman Stammel?
I would also like to comment that I really appreciate the minority for working so diligently with us. Everybody has spoken very nicely about the process that we went through. Seems like I remember it to be a little bit more contentious than we're talking about it now, but we got to the end means, and I just want to thank the legislative body as a whole for all their hard work. Thank you very much, and I vote yes.
17 ayes.
Okay. With that, we'll move to the regular resolutions. G, 22521.
G 22521, resolution authorizing extensions of a term period of grant agreements with the New York State Office of Indigent Legal Services, Public Defender, Conflict Defender, and County Attorney, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G, 22621.
G 22621, resolution authorizing an agreement with Hudson Valley Community College, Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Grant, Testman, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G, 22721.
G 22721, resolution amending the 2021 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget Highway Department, County Road Fund, and Capital Projects Fund, introduced by legislators Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. Thank you. G, 22821.
G 22821, resolution amending the 2021 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget, Office of the Sheriff, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. Thank you. G, 22921.
G 22921, resolution amending a grant agreement and amending the 2021 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget, District Attorney, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G, 23021.
G 23021, resolution authorizing the purchase of two Tover Taffel 2 system Van Rensselaer Manor, introduced by legislators Grant, Testman, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G, 23121.
G 23121, resolution authorizing the purchase of protective ballistic vests, Department of Mental Health, introduced by legislators Grant, Testman, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G, 23221.
G 23221, resolution authorizing agreements with various county school districts for substance abuse prevention, Department of Mental Health, introduced by legislators Grant, Testman, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G, 23321.
G 23321, resolution authorizing the purchase and installation of virtual environment upgrade of the computer system at the Rensselaer County Office Building in the Rensselaer County Correctional Facility, Office of the Rensselaer County Sheriff, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G, 23421.
G 23421, resolution authorizing the purchase of highway equipment, Highway Department, introduced by legislators Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G, 23521.
G 23521, resolution authorizing the acceptance of a grant from the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services and amending the 2021 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget, Bureau of Public Safety, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G, 23621.
G 23621, resolution authorizing an agreement for 911 phone system support, Bureau of Public Safety, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G, 23721.
G 23721, resolution authorizing the appropriation of highway machinery fund balance and amending the 2021 adopted Rensselaer County Budget Highway Department, introduced by legislators Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G, 23821.
G 23821, resolution establishing a capital project for the purchase and installation of salt storage shed and amending the 2021 adopted budget Highway Department, introduced by legislators Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G, 23921.
G 23921, resolution authorizing the purchase of a salt storage shed Highway Department, introduced by legislators Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G, 24021.
G 24021, resolution of the County of Rensselaer, New York, authorizing the negotiation, execution, and delivery of agreements related to amending the Phase 3 Energy Performance Contract with Siemens Industry, Inc., Buildings Technology Division for improvements at the Van Rensselaer Manor, Bureau of Central Services, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Weaver, Stammel, and Grimm.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 24121.
G 24121, resolution authorizing a contract for paper, plastic, and associated food service items, Bureau of Central Services, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Weaver, Stammel, and Grimm.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
G 24221.
G 24221, resolution authorizing a contract for cleaning products, chemical solutions, and miscellaneous janitorial supplies, Bureau of Central Services, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Weaver, Stammel, and Grimm.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 24321.
G 24321, resolution authorizing acceptance of federal funds for COVID-19 relief, Unified Family Services Aging, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Weaver, Bailey, Peter, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 24421.
G 24421, resolution accepting grant funding from the New York State Department of Health for the Childhood Lead Poisoning Primary Prevention Program, Department of Health, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Weaver, Bendet, Casal, and Doran.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 24521.
G 24521, resolution accepting overdose data to action grant funding from the New York State Department of Health and amending the 2021 Rensselaer County adopted budget, Department of Health, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Weaver, Bendet, Casal, and Doran.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 24621.
G 24621, resolution authorizing the scheduling of a public hearing, Bureau of Economic Development and Planning, introduced by legislators Bailey, Bendet, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 24721.
G 24721, resolution authorizing the conveyance of certain real property from the former owners listed below who paid tax arrears in full prior to scheduling of auction sale, Bureau of Finance, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Stammel, and Grimm.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 24821.
G 24821, resolution authorizing the county executive to submit a Rebuilding America Infrastructure and Sustainability and Equity Grant Program application to the U.S. Department of Transportation, Bureau of Economic Development and Planning, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Stammel, Grimm, Bailey, Bendet, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 24921.
G 24921, resolution amending the 2021 Rensselaer County adopted budget, General County Road and Capital Projects Fund, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Stammel, and Grimm.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 25021.
G 25021, resolution confirming reappointment of Teresa Bedoin as Commissioner of the Rensselaer County Department of Social Services, County Executive, introduced by legislators Grant, Testman, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
Congratulations, Ms. Bedoin. Thank you. You do a fine job. Okay, G 25121.
G 25121, resolution authorizing the purchase of fire training equipment, Bureau of Public Safety, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 25221.
G 25221, resolution amending the 2021 Rensselaer County adopted budget, stop DWI, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 25321.
G 25321, resolution authorizing the purchase of highway equipment, Highway Department, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Weaver, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 25421.
G 25421, resolution authorizing the purchase of highway equipment, Highway Department, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Weaver, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 25521.
G 25521, resolution accepting a grant award from the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services for criminal justice discovery reform, authorizing agreements with various local police departments, authorizing purchases, and amending the 2021 Rensselaer County adopted budget, District Attorney, Sheriff, and Probation, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 25621.
G 25621, resolution adopting a budget for Hudson Valley Community College for the period of September 1st, 2021 through August 31st, 2022, introduced by legislators Casal, Bendet, and Doran.
On the question. All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 25721.
G 25721, resolution authorizing payment to NTS Data Services LLC for printing of mandatory mail check cards for the Board of Elections, introduced by legislators Lovers, Stammel, and Grimm.
On the question. All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. G 25821.
G 25821, resolution authorizing the submission of a grant funding application for a wastewater infrastructure improvement grant, introduced by Chairman Stammel.
On the question. All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. P 25921.
P 25921, resolution commending Braley Hoig upon the occasion of being crowned 2021-2022 Rensselaer County Dairy Princess, introduced by legislators Harrington, Wysocki, Peter, and the entire legislative body.
On the question. Love to see those queens come in. All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
All righty, thank you. P 26021.
P 26021, resolution turning Rensselaer County teal in recognition of Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, introduced by legislators Grant and the entire legislative body.
On the question. All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. P 26121.
P 26121, resolution commending Unity House upon the occasion of its 50th anniversary, introduced by legislators Grimm, Doran, and the entire legislative body.
On the question. All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
So moved. P 26221.
P 26221, resolution commending Police Chief Brian Owens for his distinguished service to the Troy Police Department, introduced by legislators Grimm, Doran, and the entire legislative body.
On the question. All in favor? Opposed?
17 ayes.
Wish him the best. P 26321.
P 26321, resolution recognizing the month of August as National Water Quality Month, introduced by legislators Grimm, Doran, and the entire legislative body.
All right. We have a few resolutions here that were passed in special rules.
Hold on. Vote on
Oh, all in favor? Okay, opposed?
17 ayes.
There you go. Just trying to move things along, everybody. Next is G 26421.
G 26421, resolution authorizing a contract with Spectrum Business, Rensselaer County Legislature, introduced by Chairman Stammel.
On the question. All in favor? Opposed?
16 ayes, 1 no, Mr. Grant.
So moved. P 26521.
P 26521, resolution opposing Governor Cuomo's gun violence disaster emergency and urging New York State to repeal criminal justice reforms that release repeat criminals, introduced by Chairman Stammel.
On the question. Mr. Harrington.
Yeah, I'm kind of amazed at the governor's new executive order creating a gun violence
Task Force.
prevention office. And when you look at it, he's asking to spend $138.7 million, almost $139 million on issues and hiring people to report to the health department. I guess gun violence, once it happens, is a health issue, it's a shot. The gun violence is really a law enforcement issue as far as I can see, and the thing any common sense tells you. If he wants to spend that money, do something, should be spent on law enforcement rather than health department issues.
Sure. Thank you.
So I'm voting in favor of this.
Thank you. Any further on the question? I would just like to say, yeah, that's a lot of money to be spent by the governor's office. As we all know, that there's a lot of other places that money could be better well spent, whether it be in increasing the law enforcement and their abilities to do the job we pay them for, or through the health department itself, who could always use additional help. And the one thing most of all is the mental health problems that we deal with here in all the county, the capital district, when we know that we have more than 60 clinicians need in this capital district area, and we can't get them anywhere. We're fighting over 1 or 2 applicants every day. The governor's priorities seem to be skewed quite a bit. With that, I vote in favor. Yes, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to say, I completely agree with this resolution, and the second, or to the last resolve, really explains it all. Governor Cuomo and the New York State legislature need to end the practice of blaming law-abiding gun owners and manufacturers for crimes committed by dangerous career criminals, and to focus on supporting and funding policing efforts in our municipalities so that we can restore law and order on our streets.
Well put. Thank you, Todd. Good job with that resolution. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved.
17 ayes.
P 26621.
P 26621, resolution commending Laura Bauer for her distinguished service to the residents of Rensselaer County, introduced by Chairman Stammel.
On the question, I'd just like to say it was a pleasure for me to serve with Ms. Bauer here in this legislative body for a number of years, and I think she's done an excellent job in the probation department as well, and she's has always been an asset to Rensselaer County, and she's truly going to be missed in her place here in government. On the question, no more? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
Thank you. P 26721.
P 26721, resolution adjourning the July 13th, 2021 legislative meeting in memory of Marguerite J. Favreau, introduced by Chairman Stammel.
On the question, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes.
Legislative privilege. Anything worth discussing? Well, we got a chance to not only come to work today without getting wet, but we got a chance to get home without getting wet. Something that we've had a lot of rain for. That's right, Peter. Keep your fingers crossed. With that, bring this. This is a motion to adjourn. Motion made, seconded. All in favor? Aye. So moved.